How did you know the one was the one? Part 2. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Toy Renee. This is Toy Renee Talks. If you're new around here, welcome. Today is a very exciting day because I'm doing a collab video with For the Love of Lily on YouTube. Please make sure to check out her YouTube channel. She has excellent creative content, is a very good YouTuber. She also has part 1 of this video, so if you missed that, check it out in the description box and you can check out the answers to the questions. We went ahead and asked our Instagram community as well as outside of the community if you had any questions about relationships, love, or life in general. We received a lot of questions and we have the answers for you today. So without further ado, let's get right into these answers. The very first question was, how did you know the one was the one? Now, the way that I see it is when you connect with that person, mind, body, and soul, that's how you know the one is the one. There's no kind of friction between you two, and not saying you won't have problems. Of course, every relationship has their own set of problems, but you know the one is the one when you connect and there's no kind of extra kind of friction in that connection. Another way you know you found the one is when you connect on a deeper level and they have everything that you were looking for in that person. There's no fakeness between it. It's just real, true love, and you just feel it honestly, and that's how you know. To shack up before marriage or to not? Oh, this is a question that really comes down to how well you know the person. If you know the person super well, you've seen all sides of that person, and you feel on both ends that you're ready to take that next step, you've discussed it with them, and absolutely take that step, go ahead, do as you wish, as you both wish. But if you haven't decided on both ends that you really want to do this, you're still having doubts, then absolutely not. Do not check up with that person. I would say wait until you at least know them very well, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then decide if that's something you want to do before marriage. And if it's not, if you both feel that it's something that you're willing to wait for until after marriage, then yes, do that. It all boils down to personal preference and how well you know that person, whether you decide to shack up before marriage or not. How to not get bored or lose motivation during exercise and home life. Now, this is a question that all of us have to deal with at some point in our lives. We have to keep constantly motivating ourselves to do what we need to do to get it done. Now, this can be in terms of exercise, but it also plays part in home life and everything that we do in every single situation of every day. When you think about it, everything is a choice. You decide whether to get out of bed at this time. You decide to go to bed early or not. You decide to exercise or not. But how do you stay motivated to do so? I recommend watching YouTube videos or anything that inspires you or has inspired you in the past. Also make a list of the accomplishments that you've done to see how far you've come and how far you have yet to go, and that will motivate you to go forward. It's all about keeping yourself informed and seeing how people who have achieved where you want to go, how they've done it, and take those steps to get there. You don't have to do it exactly how they've done it. Do it in your own way, in your own fashion, but just make sure that you're bringing news to yourself every day. So keeping yourself up to date on what's going on in the world, and also keeping yourself up to date on the steps that you need to take to get there. Once you achieve those steps, check it off. Give yourself a mini celebration, and that will motivate you to keep going in any area of your life, because you will see that you have already accomplished something and you can do that next step to make it to the bigger picture of what you're trying to accomplish with your exercise routine, or whether it's just your home life. Whatever you're trying to do, it'll motivate you to get there because you know that you have gone this far and you can go even further. All of a sudden, you aren't getting responses from someone you've been chatting with for a while. Do you give some time to check in at a later date, or do you assume they ghosted you? And if that's the case, if they did ghost you, how do you deal with being ghosted? So let's break this down a little bit. You've been chatting with that person for a while, then all of a sudden there's no communication. Do you give them some time to get back to you? Well, what my recommendation is this. You Do not assume the worst at first. And you also don't assume the best. You ask that person, you approach that person. But when you approach them, don't approach them in a way that you're like accusing them already of something. Don't build it up in your head that everything is going wrong, that they don't like you, all this stuff. Just make sure that you approach them and ask them. And then you give them that time to respond and talk to you about it. So, do you assume that they ghosted you? No. If after that time that you've given them to talk to you about it, they haven't responded, then it's probably best to reach out maybe one more time and try to give them that chance to respond to you. And if at that point they don't respond, then you can come to the conclusion that, well, maybe they're just not interested or they want to move on, and that's okay. If you do get into a situation where they have ghosted you, there is no response, even after you reached out, how do you deal with that? Well, you can send them the last message that says, okay, well, I have done A, B, and C. If this is not something that you want, then I'm just going to have to move on. That's the best thing that you can do for you, because you don't want to waste your time in a situation in which you've given your all, you've done your part, and they're not pulling their weight. Give another person the opportunity to love you and treat you right in the way that you deserve. For the love of Lily, she has part 1 to this video, and if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and look in my description box. It is right there, and you will see the first one, part 1 of this video. Thank you once again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am there as well, Toya Renee Talks. Have a great day. Love you guys.